What's up, people? So today I'm going to talk to you guys about how to win ranked games. And first off, I'll give you guys a little bit of background history on me. I've played over 1,000 ranked games and over 1,000 normal games. And when I first started ranked, I quickly dropped to an elo of around 500, and I stayed there consistently. So that was my mathematically determined elo. And over time, I managed to quickly rise to around 1,300 elo, which is about an 800 elo gain. And it took me a while. It took me around 400 or 500 ranked games to really get the hang of it. And now I think I've gotten a lot better. So this is really geared towards the people who have played several hundred ranked games and won several hundred and have still not been able to rise to the elo they want to, because I have seen numerous people like me at my elo level who have played just as many games as me and seem to have even worse elo scores than me. So for the new players that are listening in, elo is simply the ranking system that League of Legends is based on. Once you hit level 30, you can play ranked games, and depending on if you win or lose a game, you gain or lose elo. And the higher your elo rating, the more games to losses you have won. So it's technically more of a win-loss ratio. So just a quick rundown. This gameplay is actually a game I played just 5 minutes ago on my Smurf account, and it is actually a good representation of what I'm going to talk to you guys about. I'm going to talk to you guys about one major aspect of how to win ranked games, and that is simply to never give up. Now, you'll see numerous times during this gameplay that I never surrender. I always vote no, even though the rest of my team votes yes, and that is a huge concept I'm going to enforce. There's been so many times where if I had voted no, or excuse me, if I had voted yes, then we would have automatically chosen to surrender, and we would have automatically lost the game. However, because I chose no, I am the sole reason why the surrender vote failed, and because of that, we were able to turn the game around and win. And this has happened numerous times. And on top of that, by not surrendering and having a positive attitude, you will change the morale of your team and cause them to do better. Because if you guys don't know, the major attitude of League of Legends players is pretty negative. So most of the time, if you get a really negative player, you really want to mute them. There are a lot of really negative, bad people in this community, and that's just how it is. So you just gotta mute those players. Anyhow, this game is actually a pretty good representation of what I'm going to talk to you guys about. One major thing is that games can go a huge turnabout kind of way, especially with high elo or League of Legends games. And not even high elo, like even low elo with this Smurf account, you will see a bunch of huge turnarounds and comebacks, which is why you should never surrender. This gameplay I'm showing right now is actually going to be a really good example. The enemy team actually will make a huge comeback. When you start off, you'll see we are at a huge lead. Our bot lane is actually winning, you'll see, by like 10 or so more kills by the 15-minute mark. We actually do pretty well top as well, and our mid is actually pretty fed as well. So the crazy thing about this is we do make some bad plays by not doing a whole bunch of things right. But then again, this is my Smurf account, so I couldn't really blame them or teach them to do everything right. Though I did do a lot of things wrong myself, so I definitely think I could have improved myself. But on top of that, we did make a lot of bad plays. The main ones were not forcing objectives and taking Baron early, and just like, pushing without wards and stuff, which is what cost us the game. But you see how we get extremely fed early game, and we end up costing it. The reason why you see 280 carries on both teams, and I do end up making a big mistake here, but the reason why we have 280 carries per team is simply because this is my Smurf account, so people just don't listen, and they don't follow standard meta roles. So when I chose 80 carry first, they end up choosing a second one, and they don't really understand the point of support and stuff. And when you really look at it, it doesn't really matter because we really don't have a support character to begin with. And even if we did, you know, in the current meta, it's not the best thing to do, especially in this low elo or low ranked gameplay on my Smurf, simply because it's better to have 280 carries, because if they don't know how to ward or support right, you're gonna have problems, because supports they're not as big an influence in low elo games, and you're much better at just having 2 carries or an extra bruiser rather than a support. So that's the main thing I want to enforce in this video, and that is to pretty much always try your best and never surrender. And you will see this a lot in a whole bunch of other guides online on how to get better elo. If you go to solomid.net or just Google some guides by some high platinum level players, you will see the same ideal and mindset from them. So after that, I will talk to you guys about this one story I had. I actually played the game right before this gameplay, so 2 games ago, and it's even more amazing than this, and it enforces this story even more. So what happened was I was playing Ryze mid, and during Q I chose Ryze to counter Mordekaiser, and they chose Cassiopeia to counter me, and they decided to swap Mord. So they'll be doing this thing where they'll constantly be swapping to avoid me facing Mordekaiser. And everyone knows Cassiopeia is the biggest counter to me and the hugest counter. So what ended up happening was our bot and top lane started feeding incredibly badly. They lost again also around like 10 or 12 kills by the 20-minute mark, so they were incredibly fed. I was able to do fairly well, even though Shyvana ganked like 6 or 7 times. I managed to kill Cassiopeia each time she ganked, so I ended up with a score of around 7 kills and 7 deaths and numerous assists by the 20-minute mark. So there's a huge amount of plays going on, and what ended up happening was our bot and top lost their lanes, and it was just looking really bad. By 35 minutes in, I managed to do fairly well and still stay alive by buying lots of wards and helping out the team. But they were extremely fed, and they had taken 2 inhibitors. So this was around the 45-minute mark. They had taken 2 inhibitors, and there we were. We had taken 1 turret, and that was it. So all of a sudden, we caught one of them out, and we killed them. Then we pushed further. We killed 2 more by me flashing and killing them with my combo. And then from there, we pushed and we killed the mid turret. And then we kept pushing mid. Mordekaiser pretty much tried to defend by himself. we straight up killed him because I decided to go Warmog because of the specific team comp they had. So we killed Mordekaiser and aced the team, and we continued from there to kill the second turret mid, and then the third one, and then we killed the inhibitor, and then we killed the third and fourth turret defending the Nexus. And then Shyvana was the only one that respawned, so she ulted on us, and we comboed her and killed her, and we won the game. So as you can see, this was a game where if I didn't choose not to surrender, we would have lost the game by surrender vote. But I chose no, and even though they were extremely fed and they went down mid and had taken 2 inhibitors, and they were actually up 20 kills as opposed to us. I remember at the 25-minute mark, I believe, we had 30 kills and they had 30 kills and I had around 10 kills. And so we were at an all-time low at the 10-minute mark, the 45-minute mark, where they had taken 2 inhibitors and we had taken 1 turret. But we managed to turn it around by catching their Ashe out of position. We killed her immediately with a few ults, and then from there we managed to chase down their Blitzcrank and Cassiopeia, killing them and winning the game by just pushing down mid and destroying pretty much all the turrets and acing for the Nexus for the win. And the reason why there's so much variability is, one, because Riot changed the game, so it's pretty much like this. And on top of that, especially late game, after the 40-minute mark, the respawn times are so long, they're about a minute each, that if you kill or ace the other team, you have a huge advantage where you can take like at least several turrets, or at least take a Baron or steal their buffs or do something before they respawn. And what happened during my gameplay was we killed 3 right off the bat, 1 right away, and then 2 more after chasing them down and flashing and ulting them. And then the rest, they had to pretty much defend their turrets while we still had 5 people up. So since I put a Warmog up, and since one of our other players was a tank, we managed to tank the turret and straight up kill them. So we had them aced, so 2 more had a 60-second respawn time while the other 2 were about to come up, and we pretty much destroyed them from there. And another reason why we can make huge comebacks late game is because late game range carries just do ridiculous amounts of damage. They'll do about 700 damage per hit, and they could do like 4 or 5 hits in under 2 or 3 seconds. So you do the math, and that's why you should always wait until late game and see if you can make a huge comeback like we did. And it was just so preposterous because they were just destroying us game after game. I was the only one making big plays and coming out on top, and we just managed to turn it around when we had 2 inhibitors down and we had only taken 1 turret from them. So that's about it, and I hope you guys will subscribe for more.